November 1997. Seoul is freezing in the storm of the IMF financial crisis. You wake up as your elbow slams into the iron desk leg. Your back aches, stiff after 3 hours of passing out under the freezing desk. The midnight office air reeks of burning dust from the rusted heater, mixed with the salty tang of swollen instant noodles on the table. You are 25, a true dirt spoon, carrying the crushing weight of your family's debt, grinding away 16 hours a day at a minor branch of the Taesung Group. You scramble up, smoothing out your frayed dress shirt collar. Your fingers brush against the silver-plated plastic tie clip, the only cheap accessory you bought at a night market before your first day of work. Now the silver plating is peeling off, revealing the yellowed plastic core underneath. You carefully straighten it, deluding yourself about a future where your relentless hard work will change your life. But tonight, your hard work has been priced. 12:30 a.m. The branch director calls you into his office. The room reeks of expensive whiskey mixed with the cold sweat of sheer panic. He throws a thick stack of accounting files onto the glass desk. Sign these blindly, then pack your things. He embezzled company funds, and now your name stamp will sit at the bottom of all those fabricated reports. You are fired, sacrificed as the scapegoat to bear billions of won in debt in his place. You can't breathe. Your chest tightens. A ringing fills your eardrums, swallowing every other sound in the room. Your peripheral vision blurs, leaving only the fat, pale face of your boss. A man at a dead end would usually choose the Han River Bridge, but not you. You secretly copied the original ledgers last week. You sprint down to the pitch-black parking garage. Just as the director inserts his key into his luxury sedan, you swing a wrench, shattering the car window. Glass shards embed into the back of your hand, stinging, bleeding. You lunge into the car, pressing a razor-sharp shard of glass right against his carotid artery. Your heart pounds so violently your chest aches. The metallic stench of fresh blood fills your nose. Wipe my debt clean, and give me an official position at the headquarters. Otherwise, tomorrow, we both die. The director nods, trembling, tears welling up. His breath reeks of cowardice. You step back, dropping the glass shard onto the cold concrete floor. A drop of blood falls from your hand, sticking to the silver-plated plastic piece on your collar. In that exact moment, you realize a brutal truth. In this society, hard work is just a scam invented by the rich. To survive, you cannot bow your head. You must grasp someone else's jugular. 2005. 8 long years have passed. That blood-soaked threat at 25 bought you a ticket into the headquarters. But your bowl of rice is now steeped in humiliation. At 33, you wear a slick suit, sitting comfortably in the chair of head of public relations. But in reality, you are just a hunting dog specialized in cleaning up trash. Every drunk driving hit and run, every sex scandal of the Taesung family's crown prince, you are the one who has to use hush money to cover them up. That cheap plastic piece still clings to your collar, the old bloodstain now faded into a disgusting yellow smudge, reminding you of the price of your existence. One freezing night, while staking out a parking lot waiting to kill a lawsuit, Old Man Choi, your predecessor, now frail and about to be discarded, takes a long drag of his cigarette. He stares at your cheap tie clip and mutters, "Remember this well. In this conglomerate, bloodline determines where you sit. Competence only determines whether you act as a hunting dog or a meat shield." Just 3 months later, that curse falls upon you. 2 a.m., a VIP nightclub in Gangnam. The jarring noise slams into your chest, hurting you. The room reeks of overpriced liquor, the acrid smell of synthetic drugs, and the metallic stench of fresh blood. On the marble floor lies the shattered corpse of a union leader. In the corner, the crown prince is cowering, biting his nails, shivering violently. Police sirens wail from outside, piercing and thick with despair. The door bursts open. The chairman's envoy walks in, tossing a leather briefcase stuffed with cold, hard stacks of dollars onto the glass table. He doesn't even glance at the corpse. "Confess to manslaughter, 3 years in prison. If not, tomorrow your sister loses her university spot, and your parents are out on the streets." The veins in your temples throb relentlessly. You can taste the rusty flavor of sheer helplessness in your throat. You look at the corpse, then at the briefcase. The fear suddenly morphs into a freezing wrath shooting down your spine. You slowly reach up, unclasping that piece of plastic from your collar, squeezing it in your hand so tightly its sharp edges dig into your bleeding palm. You look up, sporting a twisted smile. "I will do the 3 years, but when I get out, I want a CEO chair and 2% equity in a subsidiary." Silence suffocates the stifling room. For the first time, you voluntarily step into the darkness, carrying the seed of a monster. 1,095 days behind bars. The prison didn't cage you. It reforged your marrow. Inside a cell reeking of cheap disinfectant and mold, you traded packs of cigarettes for the whispered secrets of corrupt tax officials and disgraced politicians. You didn't learn repentance. You learned how to cannibalize your own kind. 2013. At 41, the door of your leather-upholstered Mercedes clicks shut smoothly, completely severing the noise of Seoul. You wear a tailored Italian suit, sitting in the director's chair. But hidden deep inside the breast pocket bursting with ambition, that peeling, cheap item still lies quietly, rubbing against your flesh like a sharp reminder of the mud pit you crawled out of. You slaughtered rival companies without batting an eye, acquiring billions of won. And yet, under the dry, arrogant gaze of the gold spoons in the family, you were still just a highly effective, well-fed dog. That winter, the old chairman suffered a stroke. The hospital's VIP suite was flooded with the scent of white chrysanthemums and ruthless calculation. The crown prince, the coward you went to prison for, was preparing to ascend the throne. But a dog that knows too many secrets is not allowed to live. You begin to smell betrayal in the smallest details. A file suddenly vanishes from your desk. The evasive glances of the legal team, and the silent black sedan constantly tailing you in your rear-view mirror. The crown prince is secretly colluding with prosecutors, weaving a perfect indictment to send you back to prison permanently to silence you. But he made a mistake. On a pouring night, you sit in a desolate tea house, freezing rain dripping from your umbrella under your expensive leather shoes. Across from you is the chairman's illegitimate daughter, the perpetually shunned opposition. No negotiations. You slide the stack of files and a USB containing all the evidence of the crown prince's money laundering across the creaky wooden table. Hand this to the press. Tomorrow, that throne is yours. The next morning, the camera flashes of dozens of reporters pop blindingly. You stand behind the freezing tempered glass on a high floor, watching the crown prince being dragged away in handcuffs in broad daylight. You lightly brush the crease of your breast pocket, smiling as you trample on the corpse of the man who once despised you, paving your way up. But as you look up, the real war has only just begun. The ancient Chaebols of the Taesung family would never let an illegitimate daughter sit securely on the chairman's seat. Just as predicted, that weak woman is quickly torn apart by her blood uncles and turned into a mere puppet. For 5 grueling years, you grit your teeth and act as the ultimate cleaner, draining your sweat and blood to keep the Taesung machine from collapsing amidst the family's civil war and prosecutorial purges. You devour loyal factions, strangle dissenting voices. At 46, you use your own bruised and battered hands to pry open the doors and step onto the highest threshold. But all glory demands blood. The night before the general shareholders meeting, you stop by an old bakery, buying the peach cookies your little sister used to love. You dial her number, a habit kept from your days of poverty. The other end is just a long, cold dial tone. She changed her number last year, disgusted by the monster you have become. You sit silently in your armored car, staring at the lifeless pastry box. Your family's absence carves a gaping hole in your chest. You sold your soul to protect them, only to now gnaw on a suffocating loneliness. The next morning, 2018. You stand alone in the sterile restroom on the 71st floor. The exhaust fan hums chillingly. The space shrinks, leaving only the sound of your heart hammering against your eardrums and the chill radiating from the stone sink. Out there, the old men of the board of directors are gathering. They carry the family bloodline, planning to sideline you and put another puppet on the CEO throne. Just one wrong move in the next few minutes, and you will be hacked into 100 pieces. You smooth your collar, pushing the door open to enter the boardroom. The air is thick with the smell of expensive cigars and contempt. You turn your back, deadbolting the door. The sharp, metallic sound slices through all the murmurs. There are no swords, but a murderous intent suffocates the room. You walk up to the massive mahogany table, slamming dozens of thick files down. Your eyes glare at each old man as their faces turn pale. Those are offshore bank statements, evidence of tax evasion and money laundering of every single geezer in this room. You remove the now worn-out tie clip, fully exposing its yellowed plastic core, and tap it rhythmically against the table. Bloodline cannot save you anymore. My competence is the only thing keeping this conglomerate from bankruptcy. Under the threat of utter destruction, those frail, ancient arms tremble as they vote. You become the first outsider to sit on the Taesung CEO throne. And yet, as you look down at the men who just bowed to you, a venomous seed takes root in your brain. If power is built entirely on extortion, is there anyone out there who wouldn't want your head tomorrow? 2023. 5 years of ruling with sheer cruelty has drained the last ounce of your humanity. Sitting on the CEO throne, you have crushed all opposition by firing and ruining anyone who dared to look you in the eye. But the price is your sleep. At 51, you stand in the middle of your tempered glass penthouse on the 80th floor, looking down at the cold, glowing dots of Seoul. Your mouth tastes bitterly of high-dose sedatives. You crunch them loudly, but cold sweat still pours out, soaking the back of your silk shirt. A classified file about a slush fund was just anonymously leaked to the anti-corruption agency. Someone wants to carve you up. Your bloodshot, sleep-deprived eyes lock onto Ji-hoon, your 25-year-old assistant, hailing from the slums, his eyes always burning with ambition. He wears a cheap dress shirt, grinds 16 hours a day, exactly like you 26 years ago. And that terrifies you. Paranoia strangles your reason. You believe this hungry wolf is waiting for you to fall. Without a shred of evidence, you decide to strike first. You personally frame Ji-hoon. Forged checks are planted into his account. As Ji-hoon kneels on the wool rug in your office, crying and begging for his innocence, you coldly unclip the ragged plastic piece, tossing it with a clatter in front of the young man. You stare right into those desperate eyes, repeating the exact same curse you once had to bear, ruthlessly extinguishing every sliver of his hope to live. In this conglomerate, Bloodline determines where you sit. Competence only determines whether you act as a hunting dog or a meat shield. You order him fired, call the police, backing the young beast into a corner. 2 days later, Ji-hoon throws himself into the freezing Han River. Not a single dying word. That morning, you sit frozen in your chair. Another classified file has just been made public in the press. The leaker wasn't Ji-hoon. It was the senior secretary belonging to the old family faction. Your chest feels like it's been pierced by a red-hot iron rod. Your peripheral vision goes pitch black. The sounds of the city outside abruptly vanish, leaving only a piercing, high-pitched ringing in your ears and a heartbeat hammering so hard it might shatter your ribcage. You just murdered the only version of your past self. Guilt tears at your nerves until they are shredded. Through the frosted glass, you faintly see the terrified eyes of your subordinates. They are looking at you, stepping back, starting to catch the scent of blood from a mad king. Ji-hoon's death hollowed out the last remnant of humanity inside you. For the next 3 years, you live like a lunatic ghost at the top of the tower, obsessed with fighting imaginary enemies, completely unaware that the remnants of the Taesung family had quietly allied and accumulated enough shares. You sharpened the blade yourself, only for them to hold it to your neck. At 54, your body rotting from sedatives, your throne is truly nothing more than a fragile glass cage. August 2026. Operation Iron Fist, aimed at taking down corrupt conglomerates, crashes down on Seoul. Dozens of prosecutors storm your penthouse. No gunshots, only the freezing cruelty of the law. All data, emails, and exonerating evidence on the servers are instantly wiped clean. The massive financial machine doesn't care about the thousands of nights you bled yourself dry to save it. It only needs a scapegoat big enough to appease the mob. You stand rooted to the spot, utterly isolated in the ransacked room. The mahogany door opens. The family's representative lawyer steps in. No briefcases of cash, no negotiations. He smiles, placing a freezing hand on your shoulder. You were always just an errand boy until you got replaced, Mr. CEO. You are not assassinated. The court sentences you to 15 years in prison without parole. All assets stripped. Winter sweeps through the barred window. You are 54, withered and aged, wearing a coarse gray-blue prison uniform. The freezing concrete floor shoots a chill straight into your spinal cord. Your trembling, vein-popping hands are clenching that old tie clip, now completely stripped of its plating, exposing its cheap, yellowed core. Spending a lifetime trampling on the flesh and blood of others to climb to the top of the tower, only for that very system to chew you up and vomit you right back into the exact mud pit you clawed your way out of. You bow your head. In the hallway outside, the rhythmic footsteps of the prison guard echo. The cell door slams shut.